come to seated towards the front of our chair. Close your eyes. And just take a few moments to observe the movement of the breath this morning. And to observe those areas that are perhaps are calling out for a little extra attention today. Maybe an extra stretch, maybe an extra bit of work. Just observe those areas and perhaps set an intention to direct your work into those areas. Now begin to even and smooth out the flow of the breath. Taking the breath more deeply into the lower parts of the lungs, expanding the belly, expanding the lower ribs as you breathe into those areas. And now using your own count, let's take Am I back again? Unplugged. Unplugged. How many more? Let's see, we were at 2. Oh, hi, Linda. Hi, Edna. So let's go back. Let's restart that extended exhale breath right now. Checking in with our seated mountain pose. And now inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 2, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 3, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Open your eyes. We'll do a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing. So just begin using the right thumb to close the right nostril. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Final round. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Let's release the hands down. Hopefully everybody has their tennis balls or therapy balls close at hand. So we'll use the therapy balls today to sort of wake up the feet, wake up the legs. And today, as we begin our work with the feet, pay special attention to sensing that ball moving back and forth across the foot. So place the ball under the big toe mound of the right foot. And take the heel onto the floor and move back and forth across the toe bases. Now let's come to center. Bring the ball into the center of the bases of the toes and let the foot wrap around the ball. Now bring the ball underneath the big toe and try and bring the base of the big toe down to the floor and feel that stretch along the line of the first metatarsal. See if we can bring the ball now to the second and third toes. And again, try and work the base down to the floor, stretching out the toe bases, or the toes and the lines of muscle and connective tissue that go back along the foot, and then come to the little toe side and take the two little toes and press them down. Let's come back now. Place the ball back onto the mound of the big toe and roll back towards the heel and go all the way back towards the toe. Let's come to the second toe and work back and forward and come to the middle, out and in. Fourth toe, out and in. And let's come to the little toe and go out and in. And then bring the ball to rest. So it just peeks out under the arch of the foot and let the foot again wrap around the ball. Now bring the ball underneath the foot and see if you can just shuffle the foot. Try and get some movement here. Maybe even feel a little bit of heat generating, and try and move in a random nature around the foot. in as many covering as many different areas as you can. And when you find an area that needs some extra attention, let the foot rest on that, or the ball rest at that point, and try and feel the muscles melting away from the pressure of the ball as you press the foot into the ball. Let's now take the ball onto the calf. We'll work first the inner calf. Again. Noticing how different areas of the muscle react to the pressure of the ball. And those areas where you're noticing some discomfort, see if you can rest the ball there for a moment. And maybe also work across the muscle fibers. And let's go now to that area in the shin, between the shin bone and sort of that medial line of the right leg. Just work up and down. Muscles in this area are quite small. They're the ones that, that do some of the work to lift the toes. And then now let's move to that outer part. A little more muscle in this area. And again, work up and down, and maybe work across this one as well. Usually just and let's now come to the back quadrant, to that outer quadrant of the calf muscle. Again, working. In the direction of the fibers, trying to cover that whole area of the muscle. Perhaps going across. And now, just before we come up onto the thigh, reach down and just see if you can find that area of the Achilles tendon. And just see if you can relax that Achilles tendon any amount. Just giving that, sort of almost pinching that area. Just bringing awareness to that area. And noticing how that Achilles tendon sort of branches out and comes into the two branches of the calf muscle. Now, let's come up onto that, to the quads. And again, just work along the muscles of the quads. And if you're like me, you're likely to find some areas that are a bit tender in the quad area. Now let's come along, let's work along that outer, sort of that midline of the outer edge of the thigh. And again, this band of connective tissue is a very large area of connective tissue. The IT band you even start to get up just right to that point where the hip bone attaches. And now let's take the work into the back of the thigh. So angle the thigh across the chair. That's just to give you as much area of sort of contact between the thigh and the chair as possible. And now let's just roll. Start with any spot on the thigh and just move the leg in and out. Come back to center and then draw the leg. So we're rotating, we're using the muscles up in the hip to rotate that leg into center. Come back. You might move the ball out a little closer to the knee if you got room on the chair. And then move back up more towards the hip. And again, if you find a spot that needs some extra attention, just stop there. And let's remove the ball. And I just switched to a larger ball just to get a little bit more, cover a little bit more area with each movement. Come back to your seated our seated mountain pose and observe the connection now of the leg that's head work to the floor versus the leg that has not head work. And perhaps you might notice a bit more a feeling, you'll probably notice that the leg that's worked feels different from the leg that hasn't worked. I can't know exactly what it's going to feel like for you, but it will be different. Now, let's come back. Let's move over to the left side and take the ball underneath the big toe mound of the left foot. And begin to work, just rotate along the toe bases. And if you observe, you'll notice you can move the foot in and out, either from the ankle, or you can bring that movement up into the hip. So given that our ankle probably needs, we'll try and isolate that movement in the ankle rather than using the muscle, rather than using the hip muscle or the glutes, the muscles up in the glute area to move the foot. Now bring that ball into the center of the toe bases. Let the foot wrap around the ball. Bring the ball underneath the big toe. Try and press the heel or the base of the toe down to the floor while lifting the toe away. Move over to the middle two toes. And again, you might just manipulate the feet a little bit to try and get them down and stretch those toes out a bit more. And then move finally to the two little toes, stretch them out. Let's come now on to move the ball so it just peeks out. So it's just slightly visible at the edge of the foot. Now, allowing that inner arch of the foot to help form that inner arch by allowing the foot to wrap around the ball and then come up and just move the ball. See if you can shuffle the foot, move around, cover the whole area of the foot. And try and be very much aware of the ball as it moves around various areas of the foot, really becoming aware of the nerves, the connection that we make between the foot and the floor. Maybe concentrate the ball in one area. And let's come off, pick up the ball, and let's come and work the inner calf now of our left leg. Again, turning, sort of working along that inner side. And as you use the ball to explore this section, this inner section of the left calf, think back to our work on the right calf and see if those areas of tenderness are in perhaps just a little bit different area from what we noticed on the other side. Don't be afraid to concentrate the pressure into an area that feels a little bit tense, a little bit congested. Go across. And now let's come to this area of the shin, the inner quadrant of the shin. Work up and down that area. Again, pretty small muscles in this area. Now let's move to the outer quadrant of the shin. And now come back to the outer quadrant of the calf. So one of the functions of the connective tissue in the calf area is to it acts like a spring as we're walking. And as we go through that cycle of movement, as we walk, the muscles or the connective tissue in the calves actually store energy during part of our stride and then release energy as we move into a different part of the stride. So think of that, the work we're doing here on the calf is actually conditioning that spring that's going to help us as we walk. Now let's come up onto the thigh muscles, or to the thigh, onto the quads, the front part of it. Again, working along the length. Again, try working the quads, both in the direction of the muscle fibers of the quads. And then additionally, try to work across the quads. Now, move into this area. Start right from that, where the hip bone, you can feel the head of the hip bone, work down to the knee, along that outer band of connective tissue. Again, stopping in areas that may need a little extra attention. And finally, let's finish off our work on the left leg by angling the thigh across the seat of the chair and moving. Let's begin by moving the leg side to side. Hold the leg steady and move the heel in towards center. Maybe once or let's finish that work off. And then just come here. Let's try that ball in a different position. Move it side to side. And even come up a bit further. Might just allow the leg to rest on the ball or keep moving, whichever feels right for you today. And let's come off the ball. Set our ball aside. Come to our seated mountain pose towards the front of our chair. And now we've worked both sides. Things should feel fairly balanced on the right and left side and the right and left leg. Let's interlace the fingers. And we'll zoom out now so we're not just getting a foot shot. Interlace the fingers and draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder and flex and point the toes. And just notice if, having woken up those muscles of the right leg with the fascia release work, if this movement just becomes any easier. Interlace the fingers behind the leg and lift and lower the foot for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And maybe you can grasp the right toe with the right hand, or use your strap and extend that right leg out in front. Take the right ankle onto the left thigh. Use the right hand to support the right knee. Bring the weight back to the center of the sit bones and press the knee into the resistance of the hands. Using the strength, so that strength comes from up in the glutes. We're to press the knee in, we're sort of taking that leg into a slight external rotation, press down and release. And 2, and release, and 3, and release. Bring the right foot to the inner edge of the left foot. And once again, just allow that leg to open out towards the side. Draw the leg back to center, stretch it out. Let's shift slightly towards the right side of our chair. Open that right leg fully out to the side. And hopefully your blocks are close at hand on the left side. Stretch the foot out, roll the hips forward so the hips are coming towards being stacked. And lift that arm overhead and perhaps reach it out. Back down through, and let's draw that right leg in. Shift back towards the center of our chair, and let's reposition the block towards the left side. Come to the non-dominant interlace and draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. Flex and point the toes of the left foot. Circle and circle. Let's perhaps either use your strap or grasp the left toe with the left hand and stretch that leg out. Bring the left ankle onto the right thigh. Flex the toes in towards the shin. Support the left knee with the left hand. Come back towards the center of the sit bones and press the knee into the resistance of the hands for 1, and let go for 2, and let go, and 3, and release. Extend, support the leg, the hands, or you can stretch the hands out in front and use the core muscles a little bit more to hold the legs and lift and lower for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Bring that left foot to the inner edge of the right foot and let the left leg open out towards the side. And now from here, shift towards the left side of your chair. Stretch the left leg out towards the side. The toes can be pointing up, or the foot can come flat on the floor. And then take the right hand onto the block at the side. Roll the hips forward to stack the hips. And either stretch that arm up towards the sky or reach it out in front for an chair-supported extended side angle. Inhale, come back up. Draw the left leg in, and let's come back to center. Either using your weights or not will work. We'll do some core work. So you can choose to add the weights as we cross our hands. Again, weights are optional. Inhale here and exhale towards the back of the chair for 1. Lift for 1. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Inhale 4. Exhale 4. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. Inhale 6. Exhale 6. Inhale 7. Exhale 7. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. 11. 11. And we'll hold back on 12. For 12. 11. 10. Breathe. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. And come back forward. Just take the weights down to the side, roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down, and once more, forward, up, back, and down. Whatever cross you used before, reverse the cross. Inhale as we go back for 1. Exhale, come forward for 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 5. 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, and 12, and 12. Let's release the weights. Let's set, if you're using the weights, let's set your weights aside. And we'll come up so we can do a little standing work. So we're going to come facing the back of our chair. Have your blocks available. And today, if you have a rung in the back of your chair, you can just prop the block up on the back on that rung, or just use the block, your other block, stack one block on top of the next. And let's bring the foot onto that angled block. So if you move the block back a little more, that's going to reduce the angle. The more closely in will increase the angle. That then for the angle at the ankle. So come to our warrior one feet, but this time we've got the foot on that angled block. You can use the chair for some extra support or not, and then bend the knee in towards the chair. And for me, that starts to feel, okay, I'm running into the limit of the dorsal flexion of the ankle. So feeling that, and then let's inhale, come back out. Exhale in. Feeling a stretch in the calf and feeling that flexion, dorsal flexion in the ankle, and come back up. And let's go once more in. And this time we're going to hold and try and use your exhale breath to relax those muscles. Take that relaxation into the calf muscles. That we worked on earlier. Now let's straighten that left leg, set the left leg back, and adjust the blocks, or just move yourself so that you can now bring that right foot onto the angled block. Come to those, our warrior one feet. The hands can come to the waist, or use the chair to help support you. And now bend the knee in towards the chair. Straighten the right leg. And now bend in. And try and keep the knee tracking towards the little toe side of the foot. And perhaps you'll notice that this clock, the calf on this side, is a little tighter or has a little bit more room to move than the other side. And straighten. And once more, let's bend in. And straighten. And let's come off that angled block. Just line your blocks up across the mat. We'll come to standing behind our chair. Our feet are hip distance apart. We're in our standing mountain pose feet. And we'll lift the heels away from the floor for 1. Coming up onto the toes and down for 1. Up for 2. Down for 2. Up for 3. Down for 3. Up for 4. Down for 4. 5. 5. And 6. And 6. Try and turn the heels out and bring the toes to touch, or at least moving towards touching. So the feet are toes are touching, heels are out. And again, we'll lift and lower for 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 6, and 6. Now, heels together and toes out. Lift for 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 6, and 6, and bring the feet back together. For this final work, you can either step onto the blocks or just repeat from the floor. So step onto the blocks now. Again, make sure that you feel stable here. And let the heels go down towards the floor for 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 6, and 6. And let's step off and slide your blocks out of the way and just shake things out here. Okay. So we'll finish off our standing work with tree pose. So come to standing, anchor your chair side foot, lift the outside knee, and come to the ankle, to the inner calf, or see if today the inner thigh is available. Bring the hands together at heart center. Open the arms. Bring the hands back together. Release. Release that leg. Just let that leg swing. And let's move the chair, either turn around or move the chair to the opposite side. Build your foundation in the chair side foot. Raise the heel. Take the leg out. Come on to the ankle, to the calf, or see if it'll come to the inner thigh. Hands come together. Open the branches. And if you fall out, just come back in again. Bring the hands back to heart center. Swing that outside leg. And let's come back to seated. Coming to seated. Let's come back to seated mountain pose. Just take a couple of breaths here. And harkening back to our intention we set at the start of the class, if there's an area, if there's a move that you think you need to do before final relaxation, just take the next moment to do that move. Otherwise, just take the knees slightly wider than hip distance and let the knees sway in and each other. Let the knees rest towards the left side. Come through center and let the knees rest towards the right side. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Again, grab a drink, do anything else that you need that you know will increase your comfort during final relaxation. Shift now the seat towards the back of the chair. Close the eyes. Observe the breath. Let go of the control of the breath now. And as you let go of the control of the breath, feel the body almost melting into the support of the chair. Feel the feet heavy on the floor. But unlike our practice, we're not trying to feel the feet making a specific contact with the floor. We're just feeling, the feet are feeling totally supported by the floor. The thighs are supported by the seat of the chair. The back is supported by the back of the chair. Breath becomes very soft, very easy. And waves of relaxation sweep across the body. Relaxing the mind now by bringing the focus to the breath and allowing the mind a brief respite from problem solving, from being aware, from being alert, and just knowing that you're in a very safe space. A space that you can totally relax. Now beginning to deepen the breath. Move the fingers and toes, the ankles and the wrists. Slide yourself back towards the front of the chair. Stack the spine. Observe the breath and notice, is there any change in the pattern of the breath that has occurred during our practice? Take the arms to the side. Inhale the arms overhead. The hands meet overhead. Draw the hands back to heart center. And thank yourself for making time for this practice today. Thank each other for sharing the energy, the time, and your practice with each other. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Namaste. Thank you.